What's up, everybody? It's Andrew, themewsthebest, and I am the new host of the Power Rankings. That's right, me, the Asian, the best. Unfortunately, the old host had to do something, aka he was really busy in life, and unfortunately, I am alone today. Sad. Darkness, my old friend. But yeah, unfortunately, Cloud cannot join us today for these power rankings. So yeah, here is the PMC Pokemon Masters Cup Week 3 power rankings. At number 16 are the San Antonio Victory Bells and Arcanine. Well, right now I'm not really sure who played because I don't really remember. It was either Arcanine or the person before them. So yeah, they are ranked at rank 16 because they're 0-3, and well, that's not really a good record. If you probably don't want to be 0-3. That's all I'm gonna say. The Green Bay Pikachus played a pretty nice match there, and them ranked out number 1 because they're well, we'll get there eventually. So up next, another team losing to one of the top teams would be number 15. Hopefully I didn't say 15 twice. Phantom, Base, and the New York Cosmos lose to the Grizzly Town Grinders, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a pretty... He unfortunately loses 2-0 to the Grizzly Town Grinders, but 1-2 is a pretty not the best record, and I don't want to take away from him, but Magirna is a really solid mon, and unfortunately he did not play the best and was not able to handle the offensive pressure of Entei, Sandslash, and Aerodactyl. So yeah, that's why he's there, and I apologize for the quite mediocre commentary because, well, I kind of only briefly watched most of the match just because this has been a really hectic week, and Cloud's not here either, so I'm just winging it. Next, we have the Orlando City Superiors. Mimikyu is God. So basically, Tapu Lele gets a kill. Yeah, that's nice. So does Milotic, surprisingly, but, well, there's a thing called Mimikyu and Genesect, and Mimikyu scores 4 kills. Yeah. Unfortunately for him, he kind of gets destroyed. Although a 3-0 loss is not the worst, if I'm going to be completely honest, and against a solid team, which is why he's a bit higher up than the other ones below him. Next up, at number 13, is the Colorado Mamoswines, and this was a really intense match. It only ended up a 1-0 loss, which is why Colorado Mamoswines, who don't have the greatest record right now, with this loss counting him as 1-2. So that's why he's a bit low here, as well as all these people who down low here are mostly because of the their low records, but by no means did they play bad matches, especially in this one. He lost by the skin of his teeth with only a 1-0 loss. Unfortunately, Celebi at the end was able to take the win because Joseon did not have Signal Beam. Joseon put in a lot of work late game, being able to kill Celesteela, and Z Focus Blast was not able to kill Joseon, which was really nice. Stuff that made it closer was the burden on Garchomp, and this was just a really nice game. After that is another 1-2 team, the Hamden Hydreigons, our commissioner, J-Specs. This was a really nice match. I really enjoyed watching it. But unfortunately, I don't agree with some of his plays. One being is when he was in with Masquerain against a special Emboar, which was really nice on his opponent's part. Masquerain, who was gonna die to rocks, he mentioned that he wanted to keep it as a sack, but he switched into Shaman and ends up sacking that. So basically, to save a Mon to sack, he sacks another Mon, and I just don't think that makes any sense. And Shaman would have been really nice to get some chip damage off of on some Mons or something, and especially that annoying Aromatisse with all those rolls. That was really unfortunate. It was well played by both sides, and that was just a really nice match. The next match is also a really nice match. Phoenix versus the Sydney Crocodiles. Another 1-0 loss. Unfortunately, more hacks. This time, it wasn't in the hands of rolls, but instead, it was the hands of a miss. 1-0. Volcanion versus Beartix. A Beartic. And, if you couldn't guess, he kind of misses the Fire Blast and takes the superpower and unfortunately loses. It was a pretty well played match by both teams. Sharpeeno played pretty well, and he just performed really well, and the reason why both of them are still pretty high up is because it was still a really solid game. Even though the hacks lot sucks, bringing it down to a 1-0 is just really impressive on the Phoenix Jonah's part, because that's just really nice. Excuse me for that, but sorry for all the cuts in this video, but yeah, the internet's kind of working up right now. So yeah, the next match is the Seattle Smeargles taking down a really nice team, being the Bird, the Aussie, and the Tampa Bay Frogadiers. And it was just a really solid match, well played by both sides. The reason why the Seattle Smeargles are still pretty low is because, well, yes, he did win this match, and he did win it against a higher ranking team. He is still 1-2, and while winning this did bump him up a few slots, he's gonna need to show some more consistency in order to be ranked even higher. After that, well, I don't really have more to say to that, so I'm just gonna move on to the Oregon Ducklets, who beat J-Specs in the Hamden Hydreigons, being 1-1 and having all the being a 1-1 opponent and having all those rolls. He takes the win. He had a really pretty decent endgame, but a lot of the rolls, especially with the ones for Aromatisse, really kind of ensured him the victory, which is why he's not any higher despite having a victory. The Bird here taking number 8, you might be wondering why he's above who he lost, but he is still 2-1. That is really impressive, and it's not like he got absolutely destroyed or anything. Of course, he's gonna drop a few spots, losing to a 0-2 team, but he is definitely not down for the count. The Bird, he's definitely gonna be able to make a comeback. And this next match I'm pretty excited to talk about is a new coach taking over for, I don't remember who, but Heracross Knight. He brings forth a very nice match. They both played phenomenally. Is that even a word? But yeah, Benfica, SL, Heracross Knight. He played pretty well, but the Montreal Monfernos, they played exceptionally well too, which is why both of them are pretty high up right here. Hera, he did some really nice scouting, but unfortunately, the Montreal Cobalions, wrong league, the Montreal Monfernos, they kept the momentum and were not phased, but something changed in the waters. Something changed. A big change happened from a 4-5 being down 4-5. He brings it to a 4-0 on a really crucial 50-50. You see, he's down 4-5 right now. Porygon that return Porygon was so nice. Breaking the sub on Raikou, but unfortunately, unfortunately for his important opponent, but fortunately for him, he wins the 50-50 he brings in Cortana to bluff the revenge kill on the Lando Eye, and he gets SD up. Montreal doesn't have any Scarfers, and another part that happened is he runs a really nice Z Smart Strike to kill the Golbat, which I'm not sure about him staying in on that. Although there's no telling that he could have had the Z move, but Cortana came in for the first time, so I just think it was too risky to just bring in Golbat and just stay in there. So that's also why Hera is a bit higher up, bringing the game back. And yeah, next is a match that also has who fought someone on low on this list would be Dolphin Squared and the Red Spark Biker Bolts. He played this super solidly, and yeah, there's not really much to say. Both sides played really solidly. It was down to a 1-0. It was really intense. The burn really sucked on Garchomp, but he was able to, even though when Jolteon was just knocking out his mons one by one, Celebi was able to come in, and luckily for him, no Signal Beam, and he won 1-0. And it was an overall really nice match. Next up is Sharpedo and the Sydney Crocodiles. He takes a 1-0 victory. No, not a 1-0 victory. What am I saying? Wait, no, he does take a 1-0 victory. Never mind, forget me. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. This has been a hectic week. It'll be better next week though. And yeah, solidly played. He unfortunately wins due to a miss, but he's the one who brought it down to a 1-0 victory. I mean, yeah, 1-0 victory, even without a loss. I mean, even with the hacks, he still played really solidly. And yeah, next up is Mastodon and the Mastodon Gastrodons versus the Orlando City Superiors. He played really solidly, and he kind of blew away the Superiors, and there's no really reason for him to be any lower because he's been doing solid in the other previous weeks too. Don't really have much to say with that, and these next two, the top two, the Grimsby Town Grimers and the Green Bay Pikachus. You see, the Grimsby Town, I see you. What? You are really nice right now. 2-1, that's solid. And you've been playing solidly in every single one of your matches. Your loss last week, it wasn't that bad of a loss, to be honest, and I really do think you deserve the second spot right here. And then going to our first slot would be the Green Bay Pikachus, with the only one being undefeated right now. I truly do think he deserves, even though he beat an extremely low-ranked team on these power rankings. There's not really any reason for him to be ranked any lower than first. He's undefeated, and he's just been playing really well. And so yeah, that's basically power rankings. Unfortunately, Cloud was not able to join us, like I said before us. Hopefully that can change next week, and also next week I'll probably be more prepared. I'll definitely be more prepared. So be prepared for less awkwardness. But for now, that's it. Stay Asian.